Okay, I wanted to show you a really quick and easy appetizer or side dish recipe. It's tomato, basil, balsamic bruschetta, or bruschetta? Bruschetta. Anyway, these are the ingredients that you'll need: extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, tomatoes, garlic, some basil. I got this from my garden outside, and a nice baguette. Okay, let's get started. All right, so cut that top part off, and some people like to remove the seeds because it gets too juicy, but I love tomatoes and I love how it gets juicy, and when you put it over the crusty bread, it gets into the bread and it tastes really good. And besides, when you put the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar, it starts to break down the tomato and it makes it release its natural juices anyway, so I don't bother removing the seed. Now I'm going to cut up the basil, and what I'm going to do is just collect all the leaves like that, and if it's too much basil, then you know, only add a few, but we love basil, so I'm just going to cut off the stems. Okay, and I'm just going to roll the leaves up like that, and I'm going to start cutting it. They call this a chiffonade, I think. But, okay, and then you can cut it in another direction. And then take your basil and put it into your tomato. Okay, so I have a couple cloves of garlic. Bruschetta really needs garlic. So I'm just gonna smash it. Take the... Okay, so I smashed the garlic and I got the peel off, and I'm just going to roughly chop this up. Well, I'm going to try to chop it up not too rough, maybe as fine as I can get it, just because you don't want big chunks of garlic in your bruschetta, because then you'll have garlic breath. But I don't mind garlic breath because I love garlic and I love onions. But, you know, if you're making it for a party, you might want to buy the garlic that's already minced, or you can take one of those small graters and just grate the garlic right into your tomato and basil mixture. So I know there's another way you can also get this fine, more fine than this, is add a little coarse salt, and the coarse salt breaks up the garlic and you can get it in a much finer chop. It's kind of like a paste. So now I'm going to add my 2 cloves of garlic into my tomato and basil bruschetta. Okay, so now I've got my tomato, my basil, and my garlic in there. It smells delicious. I'm going to add some salt. Lots of salt. It's going to draw more juices and more flavor out. Some pepper. Okay. And I'm using the Star Balsamic Vinegar of Modena. To start, I'm going to add, this is 1 teaspoon. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of balsamic. Ooh, that's a big heaping teaspoon of balsamic vinaigrette. And I'm going to stir that up. It smells so good. Okay. And now I'm going to put some Bertolli extra virgin olive oil. Okay. And I'm going to add the same amount, half a teaspoon. Big heaping half a teaspoon. Get that into your mixture and stir it around, stir it around, stir it around. Now we love balsamic vinegar, don't we, Steve?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna actually add another half a teaspoon. But this part is pretty much to taste. So if it's vinegary enough for you, then stop at half a teaspoon. Okay. And I'm going to add a little more pepper, a little more salt. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge and let it marry for about half an hour before I put it onto my bread. Okay, now I'm going to cut the bread for the bruschetta. So you always want to cut it at a diagonal so that you have more surface space to put your tomato and basil on. So this first part you just put to the side and eat it for a snack later. So you want to cut it about a ½ inch so that it gets nice and crispy. Okay, and I don't have that much tomato and basil bruschetta, so I'm actually going to toast my bread in the toaster, and it does a great job. Instead of using my broiler and you know, turning on such a big oven for just a few pieces, it doesn't seem like that makes sense. So I'm going to toast this in my toaster. Now if I was having a party or I needed to make a lot, then putting it in the broiler and cooking, you know, 20 of these slices makes a lot more sense. But since I'm just having a few for a snack, I'm just going to put it in the toaster. So about 2 of these fit in 1 slot of my toaster. So I'm actually going to be able to toast 4 slices at a time. And again, it does a great job, and it makes much more sense to me to use my toaster for a few slices than turning on my broiler and heating up my whole house for just a few slices. Okay, so I'm going to toast this, and when it's done, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, I have taken out my slices of French bread or rustic baguette out of the toaster, and it toasted up perfect. Super easy, super simple. No fuss, no muss. Now, I'm going to put some of my bruschetta over the top, like that. Okay, and it's okay if a little bit spills over because it's a rustic dish, okay? So I'm making one for me and one for my husband, Steve. And it's okay, like I said, if some of it spills over. And the juice from the balsamic, the tomatoes, the olive oil, pour that right over the top because it's just going to make it taste just so delicious. My bruschetta. I hope you try this. You see how easy it was to make, and trust me, it's delicious. You are going to make this all the time so you can impress your friends, and it's very delicious. It's very nutritious. Tomatoes, basil, garlic, balsamic, olive oil, salt, pepper. That's pretty much it. Please try this. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. If you have any feedback, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And until next time, stay creative. Bye, guys.